Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Theresa Venable, and I'm the librarian in the Langston Hughes Library, located at the Children's Defense Fund, Alex Haley Farm in Clinton, Tennessee. We thank you for joining us for this panel discussion, which is part of the Friends of Tennessee Libraries 2021 virtual annual meeting, entitled Navigating the New Normal, the Future of Friends. And we will be talking about beyond book sales. How do we help fund the activities, the many, many things we do in our libraries beyond book sales? We know that all of our panelists have done some exciting things in their libraries to help raise money, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So on our panel, we have Colleen Shannon. Colleen, if you just say hello to everybody. She's treasurer of the Friends of Seymour Libraries. Okay. Caleb Ray. Caleb is he's a Friends of the Tennessee Libraries board member. He's current chair-elect of the Southeastern Library Association, Friends and Trustees, and he's a former Tennessee Regional Library employee. Connie Albright has joined us today. She's past president of FOTL. She's past membership chair of the Upper Cumberland region. And now that region, you know, with all the reorganization, it's the Falling Water region. She's also the Putnam County Friends treasurer, and she was one of the original organizers of the Putnam County Friends group. So we know she's got lots of interesting things to share with us. Kathy Julie Smith is current president of the Friends of the Brentwood Library, and she is president-elect of the Friends of Tennessee Library Board. For 29 years, Friends of Tennessee Libraries has been promoting and advocating for libraries and their friends by mentoring and supporting friends groups. We're happy to present this discussion as part of our ongoing efforts. For more information, please go to our website, friendstnlibraries.org. So let's start out. Who wants to start out by telling us or sharing with us some of the fabulous ideas you have on beyond book sales, raising money for your library? Connie? Okay.
I'll start off.
Colleen, if you'll start. Thanks.
First, I should tell you a little bit about where we are. Seymour is really a bedroom community, equal distance from Knoxville, Sevierville, and Maryville. And in fact, it serves 3 counties, primarily Sevier County, but a bit of Knox and a bit of Blount. We are a branch library for the Sevier County Public Library System. Our beautiful little building was built about 15 years ago and quickly became overcrowded and did not have enough shelf space nor enough meeting space for all the books and people that we wanted in it. So I was one of the reconstituting members of the Friends of Seymour Library. And we went to the county commission and said the original plans for our library were for a much bigger building. And we really need the money to enlarge our building. And after many conversations, the county commission gave us $1.5 million, and another gave us $500,000. And exactly a year ago, construction began on the enlarged library. Well, $2 million sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but it wasn't enough to do what we hope to do. So our friends group, which is fairly small, has been doing a lot of fundraising over the past 5 years. We started out with a program we call Summer Sounds and Sweets. During the June, July, and August summer months, we brought music groups to the lawn outside the library, and people would bring their lawn chairs to listen to the music, and we sold baked goods inside. That was the sweets. They were desserts and drinks. And of course, we also passed a basket so people could donate for enlarging the library. That continued until the pandemic every summer. Then in 2018, we had an arts and crafts festival on the in the area around our library. We had a couple of streets we could block off, and we engaged sponsors for the event at $250 each. And they got a lot of publicity for sponsoring it. And then the booths were $25 each for the crafters and the artists. Brought in a little $1,000 in 2018, and then we repeated it in 2019 and had to cancel it last year and this year because of the pandemic. So those are two of the things we've done, but I have more to tell after other people have an opportunity to talk.
Hey, those were some great ideas. That $25 for the booth, that was very economical great for the library, but economical for the crafters. So that
it was, yes.
Yeah.
And we also had food vendors. So people stuck around. They had something to eat, and they kept circulating among the crafters. And we had a silent auction with things that had been donated by local businesses.
Okay.
Did you require them to do any part of their sales, their gross sales, to the Friends?
No, we didn't. We discussed that and decided that we might move to that later on, but we really wanted to establish this. We wanted it to be an annual event.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, I'm ready to try all of these.
I'm already taking notes.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Caleb, you want to go next?
Sure. So just a little bit of background about my situation. I grew up basically in a library, and I worked at the Humboldt Public Library for 15 years, on and off with volunteer Friends work and actually as an employee. And so I was an employee when the Friends group got started. And one thing that I've always enjoyed about our Friends group that has continued to happen until the pandemic is we would do an annual Friends meet and greet. And so people could come into the library and not only see what the library had to offer, but see what the Friends of the library had to offer and learn about what the Friends group was all about. They could sign up for a membership while they were there. It was always at night, so after hours, so we weren't worried about businesses being open. The library would be nicely decorated. It was always in the fall. As a matter of fact, it's tonight. We are doing it again this year. It's tonight. But it's always decorated for the fall. One thing different this year that we haven't brought back is typically we have a local author come speak at the event as well. And the year that we had our best attendance, we had Elvis Presley's nurse, who's written a book about the Elvis life, because we're West Tennessee. So, you know, Elvis Presley's the bigger draw in the West Tennessee side. And she had written a book, and she came and spoke. And I remember the library being just packed with people, people mingling around, enjoying some ginger ale, some fall treats, and signing up for memberships. And that's been one of my favorite events every year with that. One other thing we do in the fall is kind of our big time for us. There's a local fall festival that the Downtown Business Association puts on, and we always put a booth in there for the Friends of the Library. We sell chili at it, but we also pass out brochures about what the Friends are doing for the community and what we're doing for our library and how people can get involved and help out. And so we set up that booth every year. We have the same location. The Downtown Association gives us the same location. And so that's been a great tool for us. Of course, with COVID, things are a little bit different. And so neither of those events happened, but we're in the process of trying to double the size of the library's building. So we have the original building, and we have a lot behind that we're trying to expand, and that be just the children's library as the new addition. And then the old building would be the entire adult services, and it would move and transition more. And so what we're currently doing is That's My Brick campaign. And so we've set aside 200 bricks that are first when you walk into the building. And for a donation, you can have your name or someone else's name put on there. And then you can come in and show your children, hey, that's my brick, or that's your brick. I did it for you. And that way their name is permanently there in the library. And so we've sold all but 25, I believe, of our bricks as of this week. So
Wonderful.
Mhm. Now, how much are the bricks? How much?
we ask for a minimum $100 donation for the brick. But we have some that give well more than that. We just thought we would put a minimum donation on there and then allow people to give more if they would like to.
Mhm. And people love to see their names, written for perpetuity. I mean, forever it'll be there. That's a great fundraiser. Okay, let's continue.
Well, I guess I'm last.
Okay.
But most of our fundraising money comes from our book sales, as a lot of other things that we have worked on. Our dinner with an author, which we had done for 12 years, and then we came up to 2020 was going to be our 13th annual dinner with an author, and we could not do that one. So we did a virtual dinner with an author without the dinner. And yes, we had that. We provided that free of charge so that people could just go online and they could see the author. And it was very, very good. We did not make any money off of that, but I think we made some friends.
Mhm.
So this year, we decided again not to do the dinner with an author, basically just to be on the safe side. And we were doing an evening with an author. We had sponsorships at $250 a sponsor, and it was going to be virtual as we did the year before. But our different side to that was asking the sponsors to come for a watch party, having appetizers and some wine. And we had that set up. And so the sponsors were going to get a little bit of extra and could sit and watch and have the camaraderie of the other sponsors. But because of the time with the COVID, the way that it has been, our numbers have been kind of up and down. Right now, we're very fortunate that they have gone down. But we canceled the evening watch party and went on ahead with the virtual event. And we really made more money off of that event than we have some of the dinners prior to that time, because we did not have quite the overhead that we had in the past.
Mhm.
We're still working on that. We hope this next year to have the dinner with an author and have the in-person event. and to be able to get out there and sell our sponsorships, as we have not been that forceful in selling them before. Some other things that we have done to lead up to Dinner with an Author, although we haven't made any money off of them, but I do think that they have been beneficial to us in getting members, has been our Donuts with an Author, where we usually have an author come and talk on a children's author or maybe a young adult author, and we will provide donuts for them. And it's usually a Saturday morning that we have that event. We have Coffee with an Author, which is again an event that we have on a Saturday morning. And we usually maybe twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year, we'll do this, and it's no charge. People can come, but we did not do it last to that in this coming year. Another event that has been very good for us has been Books and Brews. We go to one of our local breweries, and they allow us to come in on a night that they are not open, and we have an author come and talk. It's free to the public to come. The only thing, they have to pay for their own drinks. We do provide some appetizers there for them, and we have had Mark Grisham has been one of our authors that has come and talked to us about one of his books. And he, if you don't know, he is the brother of John Grisham, who we all know and love. And so I think a lot of those, even though we're not making money off of those, in a way we are, because it gets our name out there to people that might not be aware of us. And whenever we have our Dinner with an Author, it makes them want to come and to be a part of our group. And those are probably the main events that we have done. We've done some things that haven't worked that well. We did some bookmarks originally when we were first organized. We had some metal bookmarks, and unfortunately we ordered way too many of them. But they were very good as not only serving as bookmarks, but they also could have been a decoration for your Christmas tree if you wanted to use them as a Christmas ornament. We did metal bookmarks again this year. We just didn't order as many. We gave them to new members that we had received a membership grant through FOTL. And we gained about 30 new members from that and giving them one of the new bookmarks with their membership. So those are some things that get our name out there. We don't make a lot of money off of it, if any, but we get members and bring them in.
That's why I'm hearing, Connie, that some of the events that you sponsor, it's not so much to make money, even though you do make some money, but to get the library out there in the public. Caleb, I heard you say that too.
Yes.
Because you got to get out there and mingle with people and let them know what you're, they may not even be aware of the services that the library is offering. So that's a good way to get out there and let people know what's going on. I love the Books and Brews. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
excuse me. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, are you done? Do you want me to start? I'm good.
Go ahead. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I think that we have noticed, certainly over the past few years, and you see this in your library collections, things like audiobooks and CDs, and things are not being checked out at the same rate they previously were. And so we started talking about what are we going to do as that continues to impact our book sales, because I do think that we need to start looking at other revenue streams, just because digital is here, and it's not a VHS tape. It's here to stay. So what does that mean for us going forward? And my mantra all the time is, people don't know what the friends do. And I completely agree with Connie. Sometimes it's important just to be what I call playing nice in the sandbox, getting our name out there, becoming a community building organization. And then people are much more likely to jump on.
Mhm.
During the pandemic and all the reverse parades, we decided we wanted to get in on that fun. And we had a reverse parade for our members where we had wrapped up books. And so it was blind date, drive-by blind date, drive-through blind date. And we had different stations. So you told us kind of what you really wanted to read or liked to read. And we had them by genre, and you got that. It had a little card on it that if you reviewed your book and turned it back in, you were entered for a lifetime membership. You know, because that, it doesn't cost us any. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not a capital outlay, but it is of high value to people. And then the next station, we ordered Godiva chocolate bars. I should have brought these. They're so stinking cute. It's not even funny. I had one of our board members who's a graphic artist. We replaced part of it, and they were all little Valentines saying like, what's your Dewey number? And, you know, so we had all of those. So that was, again, something high quality that we gave out. And then the last station was hot cocoa, and you could drive away. And it was the coldest day of the year, the day we had it, but people were so grateful. And we got several new members who either saw the publicity about it and decided to join so they could come, or saw all the cars in the parking lot and were like, what's going on? And I'm like, here, you can join right now and get your stuff. So again, we didn't make any money per se off of that. We got new members who, you know, could convert to be board members or longtime volunteers. And so that was important. We last year did the first ever Halloween booktacular, where we spaced everybody out in the library. Well, this is my bad map, but this is where I figured out where everybody's going, because we're about to do that again. So we had Friends members volunteer to hand out candy, and we had treats from leftover summer reading programs that I'm sure that you guys have in your library, where you have like not enough of something to give it out, but still a few things. And we did books that were donated that were in super good quality. We put out so every child went home with a book, and that was completely free to the community. That was something that we did really as an outreach, and every parent got a membership brochure and bookmark with our book sale dates on it. And again, the community was so appreciative. My children are older now, and you know, little legs, I had forgotten, don't go as far. And to have them contained in the library, the parents were more comfortable, and it allowed us to show off all the things that Friends had done. So I stationed people very methodically to show off the technology things we had funded, or the art lending library that we do, or, you know, the art gal, all the things that that we do. So that was great fun. It was a little bit of a hunt because they had to go on their map and see where all the places were. And actually, our volunteers had a fantastic time. They absolutely rocked their costumes and loved seeing kids dressed up, and we had full families dressed up. It was great. And then sometimes things just fall in your lap. You know, if you're just open and aware. We had an artist paint a historic home in our community. And many people watched her. She paints open air, and many people drove by and had seen her and been curious about it. And so when she finished her painting, and we did a little news article on it, she agreed to hang it in the library for 3 months so that our patrons could enjoy it. And she very graciously donated the rights to her artwork for us to make note cards. And so we sold little packets of 5 note cards at an art reception for her. So she got to come and talk about her painting. Our resident historian here in the library, our public services manager, talked about the history of the home. And I got 3 lifetime memberships and 6 other memberships and sold note cards. And, that was just a great dropped in our lap, and we embraced it, even though we didn't know if it would work or not. Like Connie says, sometimes things don't work, and you have to be okay with that. But I'm a big fan of all the things you can do that don't require you to have an event or cost any money or have setup costs. Ask for a proclamation from your city about the founding of your friends group, and go and tell them what you do and the things that you support, because you never know who's going to hear that and respond. We needed to replace our moving wall recently, and that's a huge expense. It's about $45,000 in our meeting rooms, and it was not going to make the budget. We knew it was not going to make it for this year. And I mean, Friends selfishly has an interest in this, because if that wall stops moving, we can't have a book sale. So the board got together and said, hey, if we fund 2/3 of this, will the city come in with the other third? And they were very into that. And I did a little 2-minute video in the meeting rooms talking about how important they are for blood drives and elections and programming and HOA meetings, and that they serve the whole community. And I got several $1,000s of donations just for the moving wall project. So you never know, it's just getting out there. People love their libraries, and they see the benefit of them. And I think that they're willing to help if you keep talking. So my last little idea for this section is, we also had little buttons made that said, we love our friends, ask about joining. And we hand those out. We talk at staff development day and at inventory day, because the Friends provide lunch for staff on those days. So as they're having lunch, we talk about that, and we ask them to wear these, and we ask them to, advocate for us, by saying, yeah, we have this great group. You like that ukulele you just checked out? You know who bought that? The Friends. You love that hot spot? You know who bought that? The Friends. And here's how you can support them. So.
Kathy, we had a board meeting at the Brentwood Library.
Yes.
Once, and there was a plant sale going on.
Oh, a plant swap. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what it was. That generated a lot of, tell us about that.
Yes, we actually do that twice a year. That is a library program that has been very well received in the community. People drop off what they want to give to others at a certain time, and then they come back and take what they would like from someone else. And just another great way to get the community together that seems like it might not be a fit, but really is. Yeah, I actually just got an email today. I have to tell you this because it's so cool. I got an email today from a woman in the community who has a book club, and she had contacted a couple of other book clubs. They want to have a Christmas Dirty Santa White Elephant exchange where you wrap up your favorite book, and and she was wanting to know if she could use the meeting rooms. And well, that's staff. But then I was sitting here going, the Friends buy the book club books. And we like books. And what if that was an outreach that we could do? It would really cost very little for us to kind of sponsor that. Hey, you're in a book club, come to the library, see the book club bags we have available, and come do your little gift exchange and learn more about what we do. Because hello, that's our target audience.
Yes, exactly.
They're in a book club.
Yeah,
And so I think I added something to my to-do list unknowingly today while I was working, but I just think it sounds like so much fun.
Marvelous. And Connie, I had a question for you too about I love the evening with an author, dinner with an author, and those are usually like local authors, or how do you decide?
The dinner with an author we get usually through an agency. Usually they come. They are, well, we can't afford some of the better known ones. So
Yes,
we try to stay within a budget to bring them in, and then we try to publicize it as much as possible. Our coffee with an author, donut with an author, books and brews, we try to stay within our local area. Yes.
And there, Caleb, you're an author. Have you participated in any programs like that where you've gone and talked about your book or to generate?
I have. Yes, ma'am. I've done 2 so far, and I've got one scheduled with the library in West Tennessee at the end of this month. And they've invited me to do an author talk sponsored by their friends in the library there.
Okay. Oh, great. And with COVID, with people not meeting in person, in a lot of cases, a lot of the authors I found they're willing to do a Zoom because they don't have to leave home. They don't charge anything, but it helps to generate interest in your library programs. So we can definitely take advantage of that particular thing that's going on now in our society. What about I hear you talk about getting the name out there and letting people know, the community outreach. What about the volunteers that you have in your library? How do you use them to help generate excitement about what's going on so that you can get people interested in the fundraisers? Are there special ways that you use volunteers?
Well, our whole board are all of our membership and our board, we're all volunteers.
All volunteers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for our Putnam County Library friends. And anytime that we need food, or if it's just refreshments or whatever, usually it's the board members that are out there bringing the food in and everything. So we owe a deep gratitude to our board members for all that they do, not only serving on the board, but for the extra things that they do also. And it's something that we could not do it without these active people. We need to get our membership more involved, not just the board, but we need to work on getting our membership more involved and using their ideas and their time and their energy towards helping our group. And they didn't join just to, well, some of them did join just to be able to come to the book sale early, but we have a lot of them out there that really want to help us in any way that they possibly can, and we need to call on them.
Yes, absolutely. How have you been handling book sales, even though this is supposed to be beyond book sales? With the pandemic, you haven't been able to have any book sales, have you?
We have recently, for the last 3 months, I think we have been doing book sales. At first, whenever we first started back, we were being very careful about social distancing, asked for everybody to wear a mask. We were very careful about the number of people that came in at a time. The very first one that we had, whenever we started back, It was done by appointment, that we had just so many that came in at a specific time.
Mhm.
And now we're back up to uh, not so much, we're not doing the appointments anymore, but we do ask that they wear masks
Mhm.
and, you know, to just to use common sense and be careful.
Yeah.
And our numbers are down some, but at least we are bringing in some money from our book sales.
Mhm.
And people were ready for those doors to open.
Yes.
They were ready. We do them once a month.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, we missed 2 out of our quarterly book sales.
Mhm.
I think we ended up missing, obviously, April of 2020 and then January of 2021. But we did very, very much like Putnam County. We had to submit a plan to the city of what we were going to do, and it had to really align with what their guidelines were. We kept count. We changed the whole flow pattern. We looked
Mhm.
like the supermarket with
Yes.
arrows and one direction aisles. And
Mhm.
but by and large, everyone was so delighted to be able to have new books. And
Mhm.
we did have a line, you know, people waiting, because when we got to a certain number of people, we had everybody stop. But we made some changes under duress of the pandemic
Right.
that will stay,
Mhm.
because we streamlined the process. We made things better, and got lots of positive feedback from our patrons and customers. So wasn't all bad.
Mhm. Mhm. And sometimes those things are the ones that work out the best when you're forced out of your little niche. You know, you have to
Yes.
do something different. Well,
Theresa,
yes,
uh,
Elaine, yes.
we have had a different kind of book sale that grew out of a regular event that we do for the community. It's called How We Live Then and Now. And every other month, we present a program on culture, history, nature, different topics. One of the programs in 2018 was on the history of the first schools in this area, little one-room schools.
Mhm.
And we had such a turnout, we had to move it to a local church. But we needed the large sanctuary.
Mhm.
So many of the people asking questions were referring to a book that had been written in the 1980s by a local woman about the history of this area. And they kept saying, oh, we wish we could get that book. It had been out of print. So we approached the family of the author, who is now deceased, and asked if we could reprint the book as a fundraiser for the library.
Wow.
And they gave us the copyright, they gave us permission. We reprinted it, and we had sales all over the country because people were so interested. And this is a softbound book. It was not a hardbound, but we have made lots of money off of that reprint. And it has led us in the direction of writing an entirely new book. I have 2 partners along with me, and we're writing a new history of this area, but it will be different. It will include the regular people, the common people, not just the plantation owners.
Mhm.
I am focusing on the African Americans who were brought here as enslaved people, and then developed into artisans who built many of these homes. So the first book is leading us into a second book, but an interim step, and this has to do with something Kathy was talking about. we decided to do a collectible date book, not a calendar, but something you could write birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. But it's in the shape of a calendar. And it is paintings of historic homes and churches in this area. And the artist had given the rights to her paintings to the library system. So we used her paintings, and then Jim Gray, the artist, his grandson gave us permission to reprint one of his paintings, and the artist Robert Tino gave us permission for one of his. So we had beautiful historic paintings, and then history, bits of history about this area. And again, that has been very, very popular. But I have one more thing, if I may. Because we are still trying to raise funds for the enlarged library and the furnishings, we are launching a campaign this week called Get a Seat at the Library. And we are, quote, selling the chairs that will go into the library. So people can purchase a chair from a folding chair for $15 up to a lounge chair for $299. And it will have their name on it. So there will be a tag forever showing who bought those chairs. And some will be purchased in memory or in honor of other people. And that's the final thing. And it's kind of it is a sad note. During the pandemic, we lost 6 of our friends, not to COVID, but to other causes. And so we have had memorials established for each of them, so people could donate in memory of these wonderful friends. And there will be a plaque in each area of the library. And we've raised quite a lot of money through these memorials. So the community has really stepped forward in many ways to support the library and the enlargement of it.
Exciting projects. Thank you for sharing those. The buy a chair, purchase a chair. That's a great one. All these ideas are just absolutely spectacular. I can see how, no matter where you are, what area you're in, how some of them will appeal to people everywhere.
I'm curious to know how much you sold the date books, the collectible date books for.
Well, if we sold them for $25.
Okay.
If they wanted to purchase it with that original reprint book, which we had been selling for $18, they could get both of them for $35. So they could get a bargain, the date book and the reprint book.
You gotta love a good bundle. If you can bundle it,
Yes.
it's more exciting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much. This has been really, really uplifting, listening to all the fabulous ideas, and you probably still have others that you didn't share today. We hope that you will continue to share with your friends groups, share with Friends of Tennessee Libraries about how you raise money and support your buildings, your libraries, your structures. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out of your busy schedules. This presentation has been recorded and will be available on our website, friendstnlibraries.org, and on our FOTL Facebook page. The Friends of Tennessee Libraries is always available to provide support and mentoring to friends. Please contact us. Thank you all so much again, and happy National Friends of Libraries Week.